Welcome to Green TV, the show dedicated to Green New Deal positive solutions and the candidates that advocate for them. I'm Gail Parker.
And I'm Angela Trustee, your co-host today.
Green TV is about Green New Deal, eco-jobs for the economy, new jobs, positive solutions. Capitalism. Prices must tell the environmental truth.
Green TV is also about the Industrial Revolution, solar jobs, wind jobs, geothermal jobs, rail jobs, weatherization jobs, conservation jobs, and efficiency jobs.
Green TV is about building green neighborhoods, walkable, bikeable, pedestrian, and rail-friendly communities, having cleaner air and cleaner water. It's about cutting taxpayer subsidies to zero for fossil fuel, big oil, big auto. Rail built anywhere in America benefits all of America.
Green TV is also about renewable energy, free energy, clean energy. On today's show, we'll be focusing on rail. Rail can move people forward, the economy, and the nation forward. But first, these few short messages.
I'm Audrey Clement, the independent candidate for Arlington County Board. As a 13-year Westover resident and civic activist with a PhD in political science and service as a congressional fellow, I'm running for County Board because Arlington faces several crises that County Board has failed to address. Among them, overcrowded schools, loss of green space, and an office vacancy rate double the historic average. If elected, I pledge to emphasize basic services like streets, schools, libraries, and public safety, seek tax relief for residences and businesses, and stop the exodus of federal agencies from Arlington. Promote consolidation of housing programs to improve efficiency. Promote installation of efficient renewable energy in all public schools. And provide a voice on County Board for all taxpayers. If you share my agenda, then spread the word about my candidacy. Donate to my campaign. Together we can make the Arlington way more than an empty phrase. I'm Audrey Clement, and I authorized and paid for this message.
Ron Fisher is asking all candidates for public office to make implementing the UN Sustainability Development Goals target action plans part of their platform on both the state and local levels. Ron Fisher is a retired U.S. Navy captain and former nuclear submariner and engineer, a pacifist who advocates for the elimination of all nuclear weapons. Ron Fisher is a father, a husband, a grandfather, and the executive director of peoplenow.org, an independent Green candidate for delegate to Virginia's General Assembly from the 49th District. Ron Fisher supports renewable energy and more trains, less traffic. Vote for more trains, less traffic on November 7th. Vote for Ron Fisher.
I'm Ron Fisher, and I authorized and paid for this message.
Long-sought and highly anticipated new Amtrak and boarding platforms are under construction in Roanoke, Virginia. Construction is estimated to be completed in 10 months.
High-speed rail with speeds of up to 250 miles per hour is being considered to connect Seattle with Vancouver, British Columbia. The feasibility study is due to their governor on December the 15th, 2017. Neighboring California compared the cost of conventional transportation infrastructure and discovered that they could build high-speed rail for half the cost and have cleaner air and cleaner water.
To reduce congestion and connect various rural and urban areas, the Colorado legislature is considering a positive solution bill for a passenger rail line from southern Colorado to Fort Collins. The bill would also expand the commission designed to preserve the existing Amtrak Southwest Chief Rail line.
Light rail train systems at street level are growing in many American cities where the car is still king. One of them is Dallas, which has expanded light rail by luring economic development around new tracks and stations. But ridership is low, with less than 2% of Dallas residents regularly using the system. Our signature segment tonight looks at transit-oriented development in Texas. as part of our ongoing series on how cities are taking innovative steps to solve problems, make life better for residents, and serve as a model for other cities. Special correspondent Carla Morthy reports from Dallas and Houston in this installment of Urban Ideas.
Well before dawn, Adriana Hughes is starting her commute to work from a suburb south of Dallas, Texas.
There's always a bit of congestion here.
Hughes loves her car, but the rush hour commute in Dallas, even this early, can be painful. On a bad day, it can take her 2 hours each way, so she's changed how she gets to work. She parks here on the outskirts of downtown Dallas and boards a train.
When I did drive, I was a nervous wreck because of traffic. My commute varied too much. Some days it'd be really easy and really short. Some days it'd be really long and I'd be late.
Doors will open to the right. Now, she curls up with her train blanket, listens to music, and texts as she makes the journey to Richardson, Texas, 18 miles north of downtown Dallas. That's where her job at insurance giant State Farm is based. From her door to her desk takes just over an hour. Did you ever think you would be taking a train in Texas?
I didn't. I really didn't. I was certainly one of those people. No, I need my car. I've certainly changed that because I've been able to do everything that I've done before.
You don't have to figure out how to use the machine.
Getting car lovers like Hughes to give light rail a try is one of the main challenges for Gary Thomas, who runs Dallas Area Rapid Transit, known as DART. He took me on a ride on Dallas's Red Line, which stretches from the northern suburb of Plano to south of Dallas. What is the greatest barrier you see into getting more people onto the train?
It's really getting people comfortable with it.
For decades, Sunbelt and western cities, including Dallas, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, and Denver, have grown along with their highways into sprawling metropolitan areas. Today, many cities are building out their own light rail systems, and they're hoping to create magnets for economic development. And Dallas has become an unlikely leader. Since launching in 1996, DART has become the longest light rail system in the country, with 62 stations and 90 miles of track stretching all the way to DFW Airport. Adjusting for inflation, it cost more than $8 billion to build. Here in downtown Dallas, DART's 4 light rail lines converge, and this is one of their busiest stations. About 100,000 riders use the light rail each weekday. But that's in a region of more than 6 million people. The system, designed as a traditional hub and spokes, stretches far out into the surrounding suburbs. Residents of 13 municipalities voted to impose a 1-cent sales tax on themselves to help pay for the system. The tax began in 1984 and continues today, contributing $486 million in 2014. That covers the entire operating budget of DART, which also includes buses. Getting Texans to tax themselves for public transportation, I mean, that doesn't seem like something that would go over easily around here.
Well, certainly when you say it out loud in today's times, you think, gosh, how did that ever happen, right? Folks realized then that our region was going so quickly that they had to do something different. And it's not like transit is brand new to North Texas. Transit was here in the late 1800s. And all the way through the first half of the 20th century. And now you're seeing history kind of come back around.
Open land around these new train stations presented new opportunities for development, another selling point. One of the first developments to take shape in the 1990s was Mockingbird Station, just north of downtown. Just steps away from Mockingbird Station behind me, you can find a movie theater, shops, restaurants, apartments, and office space. This is what DART points to as a model for the kind of development that can be built around train stations.
As these developments started to take off, we thought, oh, okay, now we're starting to get this. This is more than just transportation.
But Mockingbird Station is located next to a major highway and has ample parking for people not taking DART. How can you be sure that these developments wouldn't have happened anyway, even without the light rail system put in place?
You know, some of the developments probably would have happened even without the light rail. What we're really, but they probably would have looked different as well.
A study commissioned by DART found developments built between 1993 and 2013 near light rail stations like Mockingbird are worth more than twice as much as developments built in comparable places without rail.
We're probably about 4 years from completion. But
Walt Mountford is developing a giant mixed-use project called CityLine. It's located adjacent to a DART rail station and 2 major highways in the suburb of Richardson.
We had a completely blank slate, 186 acres of previously undeveloped land right at the heart of a very pedestrian-friendly light rail stop. And so it allowed us to create an urban environment in the suburbs. Everything is very walkable here.
It's a $1.5 billion development, which is still under construction. It'll have nearly 4,000 rental units, a hotel, 28 restaurants, a Whole Foods supermarket, and 4.5 million square feet of office space, including 4 buildings for about 8,000 State Farm employees, like Adriana Hughes, who no longer has to drive more than 60 miles a day.
Southern California is seeing a return to the golden age of public transportation. Los Angeles streetcars were taken out of service back in 1963 during the boom in the car ownership. But today, riders will start using a new light rail line between downtown and the beach in Santa Monica. Sounds good. Ben Tracy shows us a nationwide revival of mass transit.
When you think of Los Angeles, you probably think of this, and not this.
It's pretty amazing that people think there's no public transportation here.
Phil Washington is the CEO of Los Angeles Metro, LA County's transportation agency. He took us for a ride on the new train to Santa Monica that's been dubbed the subway to the sea. It runs parallel to one of the city's most congested freeways.
You know the 10 is right there. There is a certain satisfaction you get from sitting here knowing other people are sitting in their cars.
You're zooming by. You're zooming by, and they are in the one vehicle, you know, looking straight ahead.
In the past 25 years, LA County's rail system has grown from 0 to 106 miles of track, its color-coded lines extending in all directions. But having spent $1.5 billion on the 6.6-mile extension to Santa Monica, will the estimated 48,000 weekday riders Metro projects actually show up?
We believe we're going to blow those ridership projections out the window.
Why are you so confident?
Because the culture is changing. People are riding trains and all over the country.
In 2014, Americans took 10.8 billion trips on all forms of public transportation, the highest ridership in 58 years, driven in part by the millennial generation.
We know that millennials and young people like this are waiting longer to get their driver's license.
It's so much wasted time that we're in our cars.
28-year-old Lauren Courtney takes the train to get to her job in L.A. She got rid of her car, which she found to be more of a burden than a benefit.
I do think the trend is that you have a population of people in this city that are choosing to live places where there's metro stops.
It's not just this city. In the past decade, more than 200 miles of rail have opened in cities where cars have long been king. From Salt Lake to Seattle, Dallas to Denver. In most cases, voters have agreed to raise taxes to pay for transit. Denver's 23-mile-long rail line from the city's airport to downtown is the first part of a planned 122-mile system. Its revitalized Union Station has spurred nearly $2 billion in development, new restaurants, retail, housing, and a hotel. Portland just built a bridge over the Willamette River that is open to anything but cars.
How much of a game changer is this line?
This is huge. It's huge.
In Los Angeles, Phil Washington expects the rail system to triple in size in the next 25 years.
Do people like public transportation, or do they just really hate traffic?
I'll take both. I'll take both. Let me put it this way. If we don't do anything, we're going to be eaten alive by congestion.
He knows prying Angelinos from their cars may be a tough sell, but he's betting many will eventually get on board. For CBS This Morning, Ben Tracy, Los Angeles.
By the year 2030, California's population will increase by 30%, surpassing 50 million. Adapting will require highly efficient, safe and clean transportation alternatives that support our growing economy and protect our landscape and environment. This is California High-Speed Rail.
The governor and the legislature have seen the light on global warming. They've seen the light on energy efficiency. And that high-speed rail, it would be a fundamental part of a package of infrastructure and policies to lessen California's impact on global warming, to lessen our impact on imported oil, and to improve our quality of life.
Over the past 4 decades, high-speed trains have proven to be the safest and most reliable form of transportation in the world, and are ideally suited for the unprecedented needs of California in the 21st century. Employing state-of-the-art technology and moving at sustained speeds up to 220 miles per hour, California High-Speed Rail will extend from Sacramento and the San Francisco Bay Area in the north to San Diego in the south. A trip from downtown San Francisco to downtown San Jose in a half hour. A trip from San Francisco to Fresno in under an hour and 20 minutes. A trip from San Francisco's Transbay Transit Center to Los Angeles' Union Station in just over 2.5 hours, every time, regardless of weather.
We want to succeed and we want to grow our economy. We want to be viable in the future. We're not going to be viable unless we have a world-class transit hub. We want to do the finest intermodal transportation hub west of the Mississippi. We want the Grand Central Station on the West Coast, and that's our Transbay Terminal. That, of course, must be anchored by this high-speed rail that connects not only the region to our downtown core, but connects the rest of the state.
High-speed trains are a clean technology. Running on electric power, high-speed trains will help California meet critical air quality and CO2 standards, while also protecting our landscape by using existing right-of-ways and promoting sustainable development.
High-speed rail uses a fraction of the energy of other long-distance transport solutions. Less than 1/3 as much energy as airplanes and less than 1/5 the amount of energy used by people driving these long distances. So high-speed rail is clearly one of the best ways to reduce greenhouse emissions in the state. We understand that a healthy economy and a green economy are one and the same, and high-speed rail is going to be an important part of that in California.
Requiring no operating subsidy, high-speed trains will strengthen California's economy, creating as many as 450,000 new permanent jobs. Benefits will be immediate. Moving safely on improved separated grades, slated for construction over the next decade, California's rail and road network will be vastly improved.
I believe we need to focus on the future. We need to focus on our next generation. What is our planet going to look like? How is our next generation going to get to work? We need to think about the benefits in the long term and not just today.
To secure California's transportation future, the California High-Speed Rail Authority is acting now to preserve right-of-ways and complete engineering and environmental studies critical for building the system.
The options are either expand the highways, expand the runways, and expand the airport gates, all at a cost of over $82 billion. We can build a high-speed train for half that cost.
High-speed transportation is an essential element of ensuring that California is attractive to business people and to investors in businesses and to people who want to work in those businesses.
I think it's going to be essential for our economic future of the Bay Area to have high-speed rail. The convenience is extraordinary. The competitive, again, advantages of being able to have choice as it relates from moving north to south across the state is incredibly important. To focus on our environmental future in a substantive and meaningful way is incredibly important. This is really about the future not only of the San Francisco Bay Area and Southern California, it's the future of the state, this country, in terms of its competitiveness. And this is a vision that we can manifest in our lifetime. Let's just get moving, let's build this high-speed rail.
High-speed trains are a clean, safe, and cost-effective alternative for the transportation needs of the California of the 21st century. It is time once again for California to innovate. It is time once again for California to lead the way. This is high-speed rail.
And now this. Watching Green TV, the show dedicated to Green New Deal positive solutions and to the candidates that advocate for them. We thank the National Association of Railroad Passengers, NARP News, for today's news on rail. You can find out more about NARP at narprail.org. That's NARPRAIL.org.
You are watching Green TV, the show dedicated to positive New Deal solutions and the candidates that advocate for them.
Are you spending a large portion of your paycheck each month on a high electricity bill? Over the last 30 years, utility rates have continued to increase by about 6% per year. Unless you stop turning on your lights, using your kitchen, and washing your clothes, it'll just keep getting more and more expensive. And that's the bad news. But here's the good news. You have a choice. You can now tap into the sun's natural energy and use it to power everything in your home without having to write a big check to a power company at the end of each month. Here's how it works. Every day, sunlight will stream down onto your solar panels with photons, which are particles of sunlight. Then, the solar panels convert those photons into electrons of electricity using photovoltaic cell technology. The amount of electricity generated depends on the intensity of the sun. But even on cloudy days, your solar panels will still absorb sunlight and generate you energy. Once the energy is transferred from the sun, it flows from the solar panels to an inverter that converts the raw electricity into ready-to-use electricity for your home. You don't have to do anything. What's even better, solar electric systems can produce more electricity than your home needs, and the extra you do not use goes back to your utility grid. This is called net metering, and you'll be able to enjoy watching your utility meter spin backwards. Then at night or on cloudy days when your solar system is not producing enough energy for your home, you will be able to draw power down from the grid, so you never have to worry about running out of electricity. And if you are producing more energy than your household requires, then you'll get a credit from the utility company. You'll feel good about your solar investment, not only because it will provide you with a lucrative annual return that you can rely on, saving you thousands of dollars on long-term utility costs, but because you'll be doing your part in providing a safer planet for you, your family, and future generations. Best of all, it's a lot more affordable than you might think. If you're ready to stop wasting money on high electricity bills and start harnessing the free power that's available to you right now, just give us a call. Mention this video and our friendly team will be able to answer all your questions.
Renewable energy is free energy. It's clean energy. Rail is safer and can run on renewable energy. We need more trains and less traffic. Rail built anywhere in America benefits all of America. That's it for today's Green TV. I'm Gail Farrell Parker with co-host
Angela Trusty.
Please join us again next time for Green TV.